Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of You Look Lovely Today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're having a little late night recording session. And yeah, we haven't been on in a while, been busy with stuff. And yeah.
When was our last
In
record?
Bali.
Oh, since
In
January.
our mini moon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a while. For all of you guys waiting for us to come back, Aubrey.
And more.
And more. Yeah, of course. And okay, so we'll just go ahead. Oh, any updates? I mean, since it's pretty much now turning into like a visual diary of our lives. Let's see what's been going on.
You opened the ramen shop.
Oh yeah,
recently.
Belly Bowl. Shout out to Belly Bowl.
There's a lot of things happening, not with me, but I think with us that we got married and then we slowly finally I think maybe last month that everything just sorted out together, that you moved out from your condo and then just living here permanently. How do you feel?
I love it actually. So being living on my own for such a long time, and then which has its perks. I thought I would losing that independence would have been weird, like would have been a harder transition, but it's been great. I mean, your parents aren't like nosy or like they don't intrude in our space, and they're quite loving to me and to you too. And
Thanks.
Yeah, and so it's been really great. And I just think that the biggest change in my life is that living with a family has been so long, that living with a family, having that support system, it's not always about like sourcing my own food. I mean, you always cook for me and stuff like that when we're together, but like, for example,
taking care of like laundry.
I guess. Yeah. The big thing is, I think the biggest thing I noticed is like there's always like snacks in the house, which, I always bought the snacks that I wanted to eat, and then I eat them and then they'd be gone. So it's nice to like, there's always like snacks and downstairs and stuff like that.
I think at one point, my helper said that it seems like you're their son, and I'm the in-law because I'm always traveling. So my parents sort of like make a complaint towards me that I'm always traveling and I live just in home. But I mean, they take good care of you.
They do.
I mean, you're their son now, so I think they feels like,
I do feel that way.
If I'm not home, they also want to make sure that they include you in their plans. Even like I'm here yesterday, if you don't want to go out with me, they even mentioned that like you can just join them for dinner. I'm like, wait, but I'm here. He's my husband. He has to go with me.
So I guess our last episode was like right after the wedding. So if there's an update, it's marriage life is really great. And
Finger crossed somewhere?
No, no fingers crossed. And Pacha's getting into rock climbing with me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was our first back-to-back session in a day.
Yeah, we went climbing in the morning and then had a birthday party for my cousin, and then we went back to the gym. So we're like hardcore climbers now. You're like pretty comfortable on like 5B, climbing 5C.
I mean,
I had a bad climbing day.
I mean, what I told you, I think I feel more secure about rock climbing, and I can see that it's more safer than bouldering, and I like it more, I have to admit.
I'm starting to like sport climbing more too. That's also more than bouldering. But bouldering just is very convenient to just like jump into the gym.
Yeah, that's
do some
true.
routes.
I don't think my last bouldering was 2 weeks ago. But I don't know, like the next time when we go back, it feels like I have to start over again. Maybe not from first, right? Like the number one, but at least that it will take me time to get the courage to go and then do 4 or something.
I mean, I think I also have that feeling. Oh, I think that setting sounds better. I also have that feeling when, not this scared, but like that's how I feel when we go to the like sports climbing. I think for me the height is always like freaks me out.
Me too.
Yeah,
but now I feel not more comfortable, but I think one of one of the last time that we went together, I think I missed it, and I'm like, but you caught it like fast, so I'm like, okay, I feel more secure. So I feel like, okay, if I slipped or I couldn't reach it, I have you.
Yes, yeah, so statistically, the sports climbing is much safer, and
like top rope.
Yeah, like climbing with the rope is much safer than bouldering. Like all the injuries that we've seen come from the bouldering gym, and you can feel it too. Like when you jump off, sometimes if you don't jump off the right way or something like that, you can just feel that impact. We were getting old, and but yeah.
Be more cautious.
Yeah, but it gets in your head, like you're like, oh my god, I'm so high, But anyways, so that's our little update on our lives, and yeah.
Let's start.
Okay, let's jump in.
Stories.
Yeah, we're just doing 3 stories tonight. Okay, we'll start off right away with this one from Relationship Advice by user ThrowRA27499. My wife, 26 female, just called me, 26 male, a few minutes ago to tell me she let another guy kiss her during a night out on vacation. How would you react/respond? My wife and I have been together for 10 years and married for 2 years. She is currently on vacation with 2 of her friends, both female. She just called me a few minutes ago, clearly very upset and crying, but also drunk. She explained she let another guy kiss her and that it was just a peck. She said she couldn't keep anything from me and how much she loves me and our relationship. She said she told the guy it means nothing to her and that she is happily married. I tried to calm her down and say she doesn't need to cry or get worked up over it, and she felt like I was just saying that so she wouldn't be more upset than she already is, which is partially true. I told her regardless of now is not the time to talk about it since she's drunk and it likely wouldn't be a productive conversation. She is back at her hotel and obviously feels really guilty about the situation, and there is further conversation to be had. I do feel a little angry and sad and upset, but I am also still processing because I never thought something like this would happen in our relationship. I love her very much and she is like my life partner, but I can't help but feel a little bit betrayed and like the trust is broken. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be upset because it probably didn't mean anything, but I'm still in shock and pretty upset. How should I approach this conversation at a later time when she is sober?
Do we want to read through comment first or we share our point of view?
I want you to share your point of view first.
It's so bad because my first question that I want to ask is what level of kiss is this, but it shouldn't be the right question. I feel like, if my girlfriend were asking me like, oh my god, things happen, and I would ask like, how intense was the kiss? But actually
it makes a difference.
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm like, actually I shouldn't be asking like what kind of kiss that you had, but it shouldn't be, what I'm trying to say that it shouldn't be that questions, but it's wrong. Whatever it is, if it's like intense one or just on the cheek, but it's like if you feel that it's wrong, meaning that it's not like friendly one. Yeah. If this happened to me, I would be, it's hard not to feel betrayed, but I guess that, he can try, she's not cheating, like it happened. She told him right away. So I think there's a way to work around it, but it's also if it was me, I don't know. It's, like when you marry each other, it's more than that, you always find a way to work around it. I know that it may be just a drunk mistake, but it's very difficult. So maybe he should listen to her once she's sober up and try to understand. But he has all the right to feel broken, to feel like it's a betrayal, and I don't know if it should lead to divorce, because
There's a thunderstorm happening. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but yeah, this is just FYI.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's, I mean, it would be difficult because I feel like it might be a baby step to something more later. Maybe not the same person, but it could be other incident, or it could not, because maybe she'd be more cautious. But I don't know. I think that trust is a little bit not broken, but there's like wounded.
I feel you. I mean, if it was just like they're out dancing and this drunk guy came up and like kissed her and she like pushed him off, that's one thing. It says in the story that it was just a peck, but
what does that mean?
Like a peck, like a bird, like it's like,
Oh,
like that. And then like a peck could be on the cheek, could be on the lips, but let's just assume on the lips. And I think they're out, they're drunk, and so I think it comes down to kind of the intention. But I have to give points to the wife that she obviously was upset. She called right away to let him know. There wasn't like this feeling of like, oh, it happened like 5 days ago, or like, and then it's like, oh, she obviously tried to hide it and then she felt guilty. It's like right away she's like, ew, like I didn't want this, this is not, I'm married, and then I'm gonna tell my husband, so I think for that she should get some points for that. And I think it does come up. I mean, so again, I'm not a drinker, so I don't know, but I do find that I think we've had this conversation before in private that like before when we started dating, when I was a little bit less secure about relationship and, sometimes I get jealous, I believe that like you would, I didn't think you would cheat, but I felt like if something like that would ever happen in our relationship, it would probably happen when you were very, intoxicated or something like that. So that's why I would get very like nervous, or I wouldn't feel so confident. Or I'd worry more when you were in a situation where you get very drunk. It's funny, like I think we have a side note, like when you start a new relationship, I think you're even though we were best friends for so long, I think in a relationship wise we were still figuring things out, knowing like how we behaved ourselves in relationships, like because we'd never really seen that relationship side of each other. And yeah, but it's really nice. I mean, I really trust you, and it's I don't think I've felt jealousy or anything for a long time. Maybe like I know you. I think I've had it like once or twice where like you wake up from a dream and like you're cheating or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, why do you do
you
that
have
to
that
me?
way often, more
Like,
often than
why?
I do. Yeah.
It felt so real.
Yeah.
When you woke up, you're like,
It does.
I just want to kick you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's funny. But yeah. So I think that what I'll do, I think if I was the writer and that happened to me, God, I mean, of course, I think you'd feel bad. And, for example, maybe if it was like a work trip and it was like a coworker. I mean, she said she was with her 2 girlfriends, but say like they met up, it's someone she knows. And then you got to question like, oh, is there something going on deep down inside, or like something that's been like building up to this? But I would say that the fact that she told, or if it was you, and the fact that you called me right away, I think I'd be much more lenient, because I feel like your heart is in the right place and your intent. There was no sense of like trying to hide things and being malicious.
But what made me think from the post was she told the guy that this meant nothing. So if it just a peck, or if it just, but you don't have to say that, I don't know. Because if it just like, I don't know, if it's like a mistake, or
like maybe she's been flirting with this guy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm married.
Yeah. Or maybe she's just, when you're drunk and like you get tipsy, so you're like overly
like friendly,
socialized and friendly. So that's why she's like, hey, you can't do this, like we're not on the same page. Yeah. But I mean, of course, obviously, if it happened, I mean, he still should try to work it out, but I don't think that it may or it might not lead to something more. not with him, not with this person, but like it could be with other. But I think you just have to trust your gut, you know. I mean, if she doesn't, if her core is not like that, so it's unlikely that it would happen. Yeah, but it's tricky. But I mean, yeah.
As the guy, I would feel like, okay, this, I don't think it's a breakup kind of moment. I think it's more of like a, okay, like this is like a good opportunity for us to talk about maybe how we can avoid putting ourselves in this kind of situation. Because I know sometimes, I think the comments, I'm just briefly reading through the comments, and then people were more like, okay, so for example, someone, Electrobite15 wrote, my main concern would be, how did she end up in a situation where this could happen to begin with? Personally, she would have had to break many of boundaries to even have this happen. And that'd be a deal breaker by itself, whether the kiss happened or not. Also, like others mentioned, be watchful for trickle truthing. Trickle truthing meaning like, oh, it's just a peck, and then it's like, oh, actually, like we slept together, and then it was like, oh, actually we've been sleeping together for a while. Like, you know, it just like builds something more. I mean, so in this kind of situation, I can totally see the situation being, you know, you're drinking, you guys are having fun, for example, and one of the other girlfriends like, oh, let's like, you know, talk to these guys at the other table, and then, you know, for example, let's take a group picture, and then the guy puts their arm around, and then it's just like, you know, like peck on the cheek, you know. So it's like, I mean, it could be in that kind of scenario, like you didn't like, whoa, where did that come from, you know? So would you like just don't talk to other guys or something like that? I mean, I guess that's an answer, but you know, I think it's a little bit too much in that sense. I mean, it could be worse in the sense that, like, you know, they were flirting with guys to get drinks, and then, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know, but I wouldn't say that it's a completely
deal breaker.
I think the main thing that saves it is it seems like she's genuinely feels bad. Yeah. Maybe her friends are not good influences. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, could be, but I do think about how you positioning yourself too, because honestly, I know that, I mean, go back to us, that when we start dating, and I know how like you're like crazy eye at me. No. But I know that like I think that because we were friends for so long, and you would see like, oh, how I got drunk, and then when I'm drunk, I'm like, woohoo, shot, and you know, I'm just friendly.
You're still like that?
No, less.
Yeah,
less. But I'm just very overly friendly to everyone, you know, and maybe affectionate with everyone. So I think after that, like, I try to keep distance, you know, but not like, oh, I'm not gonna socialize, but I am more careful about my behavior, and I'm not like looking for new friends, or I actually change my habit a little bit. Not in a bad way, but I'm also like, oh, I don't want to put myself in a weird situation, and I don't need any of that. I don't need attention from anyone, you know. I just want to go there, have fun with my friends, so I don't need attention.
I think you're being too hard on yourself. I don't think you were that bad before, but I mean, I know that you've had your own set of situations.
Not that bad, yeah. But I also feel that I don't want to put myself that, you know, because I feel like if I'm too friendly, or I'm just like drinking a lot and just like, you know, I mean, it just still like, I don't want to be to the point that like, not that I'm like gonna like assault anyone, you know, but I just want to be able to like have conscious and then go home. Right. I mean, like back then,
you definitely
just
drink a lot less.
Out.
Yeah. I mean, you don't drink to that point anymore.
No anymore.
Maybe it's also because we're getting older.
I mean, one is that, and I mean, honestly, like just the other day, half bottle, and then I'm like, oh, Justin, I'm bloated, I'm very gassy.
Yum.
But I mean, okay, coming back, just to wrap it up, it's not a deal breaker. They just talk. They just need to talk and sort it out.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Hopefully, I mean, I have a good. I'm rooting. I'm not saying what happened with the girl is okay, but I'm rooting for them. I think this is something that they can work through. For sure.
Me too.
All right. And the next one. Okay. This is also from Relationship Advice. This is from Throw RA Lunch. My 38 female husband, 39 male, hid having lunch with a coworker, 25 female, and said my food was tasteless. What do I do? I want this to be quick. I feel really weird about this, and I'm on the verge of asking for a separation. So I've been with my husband for 15 years, married for 11. Amazing relationship, small bumps of course, but nothing like this. I've always made lunch for my husband and to take to work, and up until a little over a month ago, that was fine. Middle of March, he said that there's a new Turkish food stand opening up outside his office, and that he had been eating lunches there instead because they were good. All right, no problem. So he just completely stopped asking for lunches. I had maybe packed 5 during this time frame for him, but I'm not even sure he was eating them now. So on Thursday, I was at home working and I had a phone call from him. Thought he was calling during his lunch, but he had butt dialed me instead. At first, I didn't hear much, just him talking to someone, and I was about to hang up until I heard a woman's voice as well. I wouldn't say I'm a jealous person, but I was a little bit curious, so I muted my call at work and listened. It was just standard conversation at first. He was praising this woman's cooking a lot, which of course made me realize that he was eating lunch this coworker made. I was a bit peeved, but there was an explanation, sure. Although that went out the fucking window when she said, "Is it better than your wife's?" To which he replied, "Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's not tasteless for a start," followed by laughing. First of all, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? 15 years of cooking and now he has a complaint? And not even to me, but to some coworker? Also, that absolutely isn't innocent on her end, right? I'm not crazy in thinking that's so weird. Why even bring me up? Anyway, I raised hell, ended the call, sent him a message not to worry about my tasteless cooking anymore, and that he can eat from the bin from now on. He apologized, said that he loves my food, and he was just trying to seem cool in front of his new coworker. I asked him why he lied about where he was getting lunch from, and he said that initially he did get it from that stand, but the coworker started offering and he didn't want to tell me because he thought that I would get jealous. Yeah, can you blame me? So I've been airing him since. Not sure what that means. I'm still pissed, to be honest. I haven't made him lunch or dinner, only for myself, since he said that he dislikes it so much. He said today that he's apologized and that I shouldn't keep pushing him, but I'm literally an inch from going to my mom's. I have a suitcase with my clothes packed under our bed already. Dad thinks it was a stupid comment, but that I should work it out. Mom is on my side regardless of my decision. I'm thinking about leaving for a few days at least. Maybe a separation, but I honestly just want some reassurance if that's what's best here. Your turn.
No, you first.
I mean, number one, what you heard on that call, I mean, who knows how much deeper it goes. So if I was the wife or if I was the husband and you were at work with the guy and I heard that, I mean, you're already talking me down. So it already feels like disrespectful to me, but it's also like you're kind of like insinuating like, oh, but like you're a better version, kind of like, for example, how would that be? How would the I guess like for cooking, like, oh god, your cooking is so good, and then it's like probably will be something like oh, you know, your boyfriend is so lucky that like he has you to cook for him. I wish my girlfriend cooked for me like that, you know, something like that. And then she's gonna be like, oh, like, don't worry, I can cook for you, like, don't, like, if, you know. And then it's that subtle that I think we've talked about this, like, people don't just have like this thing of like, oh, will I cheat? Of course, it's like no. But then I think what happens with cheaters is that it's like a slippery slope, and it's very little. And then like we talked about it before, like you build these like little micro relationships with people, and then it grows into like you start to miss them, and then you feel like, oh, like jealous of their relationships or whatever. And then it comes down to like one day when there's like this feeling of like, I can't stop thinking about them or whatever, you know? So it's just like, it grows. So like this kind of, I feel like when you hear this, it's like that kind of like seeds are starting to plant and grow roots, you know? So that's something I'm very worried about. Can it be, did she catch it early enough? Maybe, but the fact that he let that in and start to grow is very, very concerning. So for example, if I caught you with that, then it's like, okay, like, you know, either you're not satisfied with our relationship and you're like looking for other, you know, attention from other people, or like this is just your character to like allow these kind of things in, you know? So that would be concerning for me.
Do you think if that colleague is a man, would it make a difference?
Like he was gay?
No, yeah, not if it's gay. I mean, if it's because I'm just thinking that she's jealous of this woman, sort of, right? But if he just complained about her cooking with a male colleague who's not gay, who just like like whether if it's gay or not, but a friend.
Wait. Oh, sorry. If she found that he was complaining about the wife to a guy,
yeah.
I think it'd be definitely different because that like, and assuming is not like, you know, having a bisexual relationship on the side. Maybe he's like, I don't want to hurt my wife's feelings, but I'm really, how do I tell my wife that I don't enjoy her food? I mean, I think, I mean, I didn't really talk to him about it, but for example, you had this like Nespresso machine recently and you've been making coffee for me and I'm very appreciative, but it was not good. And
me?
I don't know, somebody, yeah, I mean, we were using the machine and I think maybe someone, like, I think you asked someone to help make coffee in the morning. And
we're
so
trying to figure out the perfect, like, perfect figures.
Yeah, so I mean, like, if I butt dialed you and I was just like at the office, I was like, hey, like, hey, do you guys want to get coffee? I'm gonna get some coffee, like, and
coffee
like,
at home is horrible.
Yeah, they're like, oh, don't you have coffee with you? I was like, yeah, the coffee that my wife makes sucks, you know, like, but I don't want to tell her because she enjoys her new coffee machine. Like, you know, it's like, I think that's not a bad.
It depending on the context and how you say it.
I think you can't. I mean, I think you cannot just be like, oh, what if it was a man? Like, does it make a difference? Of course it makes a difference. You know, like, oh, I found Justin went to go rock climbing and then he actually like met up with a guy to go rock climbing, whatever, but he didn't tell me or something like that. That's very different. Of course, it totally changes if it was like, oh, we went rock climbing and then he invited this girl that he said he's going alone, but he like actually is meeting this girl to go rock climbing, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. Just it's the record limit, it's fine. And then so I think obviously being a man or woman makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I think that especially I think like with this, like I said, I think it's definitely like planting seeds, which is like,
I mean, she would be like, because they've been together for 15 years, right? And she probably been cooking for him for God's know when. So does it mean that he kept lying to her and not being straightforward?
I think you're being very serious about the food. I don't think it's about the food.
No. I'm not just saying about not about the food, but I'm just thinking that like if he can't be straightforward or just tell the truth about this simple thing, so maybe there are more things that he just like, because it's just like this is very simple that like, oh, if you don't like it, just tell me, so you know I'll make it better, or just this. But why you have to hide it for like so long?
I think that what the train of events was that the wife would always make him lunch, and he's fine, he enjoys it, and then he started having
Have this
this
new colleague, so that's why
that
he
he wants to
wants
go
to
to
have-
lunch with, and then he's like,
okay.
"Hey, you don't need to make me food anymore. I want to try this restaurant. So go ahead and stop
maybe
making me
it's
food."
not about the food,
It's
but
not,
it's just
yeah.
that.
I mean, I think it's because you're such a good cook, and so you're thinking like, I think in your mind you're like, if I was in a
It's
situation,
almost my bedtime.
I think that so I think if this was our situation and you heard this, you'd be like,
I would be mad.
of course you'd be mad, but I think you'll be mad because you're like, what do you mean my food isn't good? But the thing is not about the quality of food. It's about like he's like lying to have lunch with this woman. Yeah.
You're so
So
cute.
no.
You are, but okay, sorry. It's almost
No.
my bedtime. Yeah.
No, but I mean that is also, I mean,
Okay.
can be offensive too. But
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Now I got it. I mean, she have all the right to be mad, and if she wants to, I think they should go to couple therapy. Cause I think that it could lead to something more, But or maybe she to investigate a bit more. Not investigate, but analyze a bit more. That has there been any more changes recently after this lady joined the company, because he gave up sort of like her food, right, just to have an excuse, or like, oh, I want to try your food, or let's go have lunch together. So it could be like you say, a step of something more.
I forgot what I read it, but I remember seeing.
See if I'm closer again.
No, but I forgot where I read it, but I think they interviewed people that were cheated on by their partners, and when they were like analyzing like common pattern behaviors of the cheaters, one of them was like,
it's about lunch, right?
no, the people that were cheating got like haircuts more frequently or something like that. Like that's what one thing that they noticed was like, oh, their husbands started getting their haircuts more. Oh, and washing their cars. That's what it was. It was like they would wash their car more often. And my car is filthy, so don't worry about that.
But you'll cut your hair a lot.
I don't. When was the last time I cut my hair?
A month ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I think
every other month.
I think every other month is not very frequent.
Dude, usually I cut my hair like twice a year.
You're a girl, so it's like it gets longer. But for guys, I think if I cut my hair every 6 months, it'd be like. But yeah, nothing to worry about. And that's our show. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So I think
Last episode ever.
this situation is way more troubling than the first one, where the girl, because
it
she
could lead to something.
Yeah,
more.
exactly. Because this is more of like a character flaw in the partner, versus in the first story, it's more of like, bad something, a bad situation in isolation, which rhymes, a bad situation versus like bad character. Because, for example, if it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Okay. So
Wait, I wanna can you read like some comments from that?
okay.
I wanna know what other people think.
So if you're in this situation, would you move out? I think she was also saying that at the end.
Maybe not move out, but separate room.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's no separate room, then move out. I think she need to clear her head
Mm-hmm.
and process a bit. I mean, they're a married couple, so basically they're live together, right? And I think that it's take a toll on her. So I think that she needs some space.
Yeah. I think it's tough. So one comment by Lenny and the Jets. Yep, there are only two reasons a man disses his wife to another woman. Either he's genuinely asking for advice, in which case he wouldn't word it that way, or he's trying to get some action on the side. Any woman who believes a guy talking this way about his wife had best realize he's going to treat her with just as much disrespect. And the next comment replying to her, Reddit made sign up. I work in an office full of fellas. Only one will talk shitty about his wife, openly, not just to me, but to the office. She put on a belly, refuses to work out, doesn't contribute financially, blah, blah, blah. Every time I tell him, you need to talk to your wife, dude. I get you want to vent, but this is between you two. I'd be pissed off if my husband was doing that. Yeah, verbally, single bats 5604 said verbally throwing his wife under the bus / shit talking about her to sound cool is already messed up, even to a fellow male coworker of the same age. But doing that with a younger female colleague while eating a lunch she brought in for him, and she feels comfortable enough to join in, initiate the shit talking, is wrong on a whole new level. They are definitely having at least an emotional affair and likely heading their way to a physical one. Even if he reckons it would never get to that point, or that's not his intention, in the heat of the moment, I doubt he'd stop short of it actually becoming physical. He clearly isn't very loyal to OP. So I think that, definitely that I would say this is like indication of initiating that slippery slope. So yeah, I'd be pissed. And yeah, so I mean, I would recommend OP is 15 years. I mean, if you have kids, you don't want to just like throw that all away, but I think that obviously this has to be addressed. I think this is a tough one because it's like a character flaw, which is big, you know.
But okay, now the more after listen to few comments, I think the most I forgot about it earlier to mention it, but I feel like if you show disrespectful towards your partner, it's quite a big like no. You know, I mean, with everything that you share, you build together after 15 years, and then you just trash it out just in front of like your younger colleague. So not about this, but you know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm laughing about something else. Sorry. There's a skit in that I Think You Should Leave by Tim Robbins where all the men are like playing cards at the table, and then they're joking about like, oh, my wife, she's such a, like naggy. And then one guy makes a joke like, yeah, my wife sucks too. And he's like, he goes like, he has this like big 15-minute flashback about like how difficult things are in his life, and his wife like was really supportive. And he's like, then it comes back after like this 15-minute thing, it comes back to like the game, and he's like, actually guys, I love my wife. Like, I'm not gonna stay for the sleepover. And like these like grown men, like, and they're like, oh, you never stay for the sleepover. Yeah. So that was just like in my head. But yeah. So anyways, back to this.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that like actually, when think about it, it means that he is disrespectful to his wife. So I think the feeling it's already start to like feel through the crack. And like with one of the comment that it's even worse that the colleagues start making joke about his wife, and he is not stopping, you know. And I think it's not the right. It doesn't sound right.
In this situation, it's almost like you're burning the candle at both ends, in a sense that like, number one, they're talking down about the partner, the wife, and number two, he's also like hyping up the other person, you know. So it's like, my wife sucks and you're better, kind of thing, which is like,
sorry.
Yeah, so that's a toughish situation, but maybe remove yourself from the situation and like move out if you need to, and collect yourself, and also see what's his move. Is he willing to cut off ties with that coworker, really really make amends and show that like, I don't know what I was thinking. It is a slippery slope, and I just didn't realize that like it got to this point, and then I'm willing to, cut that cancer out of my life and then rebuild. Or if he's gonna be like, oh, my wife is making a big deal about it, and then he's like gonna lean into it more, like I'm complaining about my wife, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna move out, like instead of like trying to make amends, he's like, I'm gonna move out and then maybe spend more time with this other coworker, and it might show more of his true colors in that way. So, and in that case, then it's definitely, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next, last one before my wife's bedtime. This is a short one. This is from Ask Men. That's me. I'm a man. Why you laugh like that? Aww. This is from user Consistent Apricot 82. From a man's perspective, what are the rules / etiquette of sleeping with your friend's ex-girlfriend? I'll give a backstory. This is from my personal life, but I'm just using it as an example because I'm curious about the dynamics between men and how it works from their perspective. My female 27 ex's friend, male 28, is in my DMs asking me to dinner and insinuating us having sex. My ex-friend and him met in college, and I would not say they are close friends.
Wait, sorry. I think I already confused.
Okay. So,
can you make it easier for me?
Let me read it through it and then I'll summarize. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
My ex-friend and him met in college, and I would not say they are close friends. I believe they were in the same fraternity and were cool with each other then, but since graduation, I don't think they've really kept in touch much other than following each other on social media. I met my ex's friend through my ex at a fraternity event when he and I were still together. It's been 3 years since we broke up. My ex has moved on and is in another relationship. I have not spoken to him in 3 years. From a man's perspective, what are the rules in regard to sleeping with / dating / hooking up with a friend's ex ?
Oh, okay. I understand now.
All right.
Got it.
Okay, so just in case anyone who's listening is confused, that would be like if you and I were dating.
We broke up.
No, you and I were dating in college, and then you met my friend that I met at like a fraternity, in my fraternity, and then we broke up, and then that friend 3 years later started messaging you.
Okay, got it.
Something like that. And then like me and that guy, like we're not that close anymore. So with me, I think I might be a different case because when I read through the comments, people were like, bro code, you don't date another guy's ex, whatever, and stuff like that. And for me, if I've broken up with a girl and I've moved on, then I've moved on. I don't feel like I have jurisdiction over her life. And if she consents to date someone else, then she can date someone else. And I know people will be like, yeah, you say that. But I mean, it's actually happened in my life where I found out that like my good friend at the time was hooking up with a girl that I dated, and it just came out, and like he was trying to hide it, but like another friend like mentioned something in passing, and I was like, wait, what was that? Like, you're hooking up with so and so, and then so what bothered me was the fact that he tried to hide it, but like the fact that he hooked up with her, like I didn't care, honestly. And so that's the only thing. I just don't like it when people feel like I just felt like, why did you feel like you needed to hide it from me? Like that's I didn't care. But anyways, that was honestly, it was like a weird thing, but it didn't really affect our relationship, and I was just like, whatever. Yeah, because I truly feel like once maybe there's something wrong with my brain, but when a relationship's over with someone, it's just kind of like whoop, whoop. It's like okay, you close the book and then you just put the book
burn. Yeah,
you put it somewhere that you don't really. It's just like out of out of sight of mind. So yeah. How about you? I think I want to hear your perspective.
I think for me, when I maybe when I was younger, if I was younger, I would have different perspective. I would be, because when you're young, you're like, you still have lack of experience, So I think you maybe not get attached, but maybe you feel like, no, maybe this person belonged to me before. So you shouldn't be associated with, like this guy ever, even like we're broke up already. But I think that now I would lean towards like what you just say, that there is a reasons why it didn't work, right? And then we move past it and we move along. And I think that if we still think about the excess of that person, then we still stuck there, and we wouldn't be move on. But I think that with courtesy of everything, maybe the friend exes should tell him, if they're still friend, like, hey, just FYI, I think that she is like your ex-girlfriend, like ex blah 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 girlfriend, is single, and I think that like I want to know her, so just FYI, it's not necessary that he has to, but I think that if you want to get it over with, just like, hey, and it feels like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think.
But depending as well, but it depending on the relationship between them, yeah.
Yeah, I the one comment that kind of like went against the grain, because like majority of them were saying like bro code, yeah, you don't do that. And the one was just like, oh, you just message him and ask if it's okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes you talk to someone, they're like, oh yeah, it's fine. Ooh, thunder. They're like, you message someone, yeah, it's fine, and then like you start dating them, and then they start acting funny towards you, and like they're upset, No,
but that's shitty things, right? You asked already. What?
No, nothing.
Why?
Secret eyes. You have to read my mind.
Okay, let's talk after this.
No, I just meant because I think this, you were involved in this. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't realize it, but in a previous relationship, right, I dated someone that you knew dated someone, and then...
Can we talk about this later?
Yeah. Maybe it's too close now. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just feel like, I like I said, I think maybe my thinking is different than others, because for me, I don't really feel like an issue. And number one, I feel like it's kind of. But
it also depending how long have they been broken up.
Yeah, here it said 3 years, and then it also, I feel like if you're not.
3 years is okay, but it's not like.
Yeah, but
I think yeah.
Okay,
but it's not like,
Okay, but the thing is, if the other person is not going to pursue a relationship with that person and it's over, then why do they have, like for example, if my ex was dating someone, what right do I have to?
No, you have. Of course, like there's no like, you cannot say. You can't be like a jerk and like make like, no, I don't want this. Like you can't, it hurt my feeling. You can't do it like that. But in terms of like, we are being kind to one another. So I think it's like courtesy of that, and then society that it's quite small, right?
But to be frank,
we're not talking about your topic.
Okay? No. To be frank, in general, I have noticed that in this society, in where we are, a lot of people like linger on their ex relationships and like hold on to their feelings for their exes, or like, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like
when we were younger, not
no
now.
Like now. Like think about and how it feels about, I'll tell you later. But like some of your friends, it's like you'll bring up that like they're sad about this person dating someone, and it's like, wait, that person that he or she dated a long time ago?
I think you're wired differently.
Okay, maybe
I think you're wired differently, so I think it's fine. But like sometimes people have different experience, and also not a lot.
What does that mean? No, it's not about a lot or not a lot, but
It is. Dude, but I think it is. I think it is. I think it is because the more, not like the more the merrier, but like the more experience you
okay,
have,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
also like have the system of, let's say that like, oh, I need to cope how, and you don't get attached. While some people, like some of my friends, they date maybe two guys, ever in their life, and one they date like decade, a decade.
When they're
So
dead.
a decade,
Oh,
DECADE,
oh,
a
when,
decade, yeah,
oh, one guy a decade.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see what. Okay, yeah, I guess if like you only have one ex, I don't know, but I still feel like even if you just have one ex, it's kind of like, yeah, but it's your ex.
You don't understand.
Maybe I don't.
You don't understand.
Maybe I'm a little bit like wild,
Like
wired differently,
cookie.
like crazy. But I feel like, I mean, I just feel like if you are not having the intention to get back with someone and you guys are no longer trying to work out the relationship, then it you cannot stop someone from, or like you shouldn't really get in the way or make it difficult for that other person to like get their happiness, so like if for example with all my exes, when they date someone else, if they're happy, like I'm I remember like a lot of times, people come be like, oh, did you hear so and so is dating this person now? I'm like, okay, great, good for them, and I never felt like, oh, like, if anything, it's like, great, like they're happy. It's like not, I don't want to say it's not my problem anymore, but it's like, what I mean? It's like, okay, like, let's keep the wheels of time moving, and that's how it goes.
I mean, you're not, I mean, it's lucky that you're not stuck, and I think that you already thought through that if this is over, it's supposed to be that way. And there's no time to like be, I mean, you also living with those sort of like, you feel sad about it, but you're not like living in that, like melodrama for a while, right? Just listen to some song.
No, I mean, I've been sad. I mean, I used to like watch her and be sad and listen to
I get it. No,
sad songs.
Stop. I know you do. I know you do. But like I say, I think that you have your way of like coping mechanism, that this is it, and then you know how to move on. But for some people, it's different.
Right.
Maybe they already thought about like, oh, the future with this person, but you don't really have that.
Stop.
No, but I mean, usually it's like that for you. You don't think everything is a long term. I mean, you have serious relationship, but you don't think ahead of like 5 years,
I don't know about that, but I just feel like once I just, yeah, I understand like some people maybe like the roots, they don't cut the roots out that fast, and I just feel like
you don't get stuck.
I just feel,
you do?
No, I don't get stuck, but I just feel, okay, maybe the way that I can understand like human emotions, you get attached, and then maybe, seeing them with someone else hurts me. I can get that. But to be like, they're dating someone else, like now I'm mad and I'm gonna like, call this person and be like, hey, how dare you date someone else? It's like, what? Like, it's not my right to like do that, like I can feel bad and I can understand feeling sad about it, but at the same time it's like, hey, you already opt out, you already said, okay, this is done, we're not going to work in this relationship anymore. So then why they're trying to find happiness, and then you like are gonna get in the way of that, and it's just kind of like, what's the point? But yeah, maybe maybe my wires are just different, but I get the reason why the popular opinion is bro code. Like, I don't want, like, dude, you can't date my ex, whatever.
But I don't agree with bro code. I don't think that it's Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
This is a fun one.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if like this thing in the state it's different. You know, like bro code thing.
No, I think most of these replies were. I think this is from like a Western place.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like I get it if there's this bro code like when we were younger, but I think that now it's. I mean, especially if you got married or in a very serious relationship, I don't think that this is a thing anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, like you moved on. You know, you already moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You moved on
I move on.
from?
I don't have the past.
Yeah. Just
See?
now. Yeah.
Just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, so, okay. So my advice to her would be like, just, if you're worried about it, just contact your ex, whatever, and just be like,
it's more weird if she has to contact the ex.
like, hey, so
Actually,
like,
she shouldn't be bothered with this. It
Oh,
should
the
be
guy.
the guy.
yeah, so the guy's been messaging her directly.
Yeah, because if the guy is more, I don't think she need to worry about it. But I mean, if she thinks that there is more things between her and the guy, maybe just ask like, hey, it's okay for us to start something more, right? Like this is not gonna be an issue. You know, so I don't think she should be the one to contact because she's the ex-girlfriend. But the friend should contact her ex-boyfriend.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the way to do it safe. For me, I feel like 3 years, they maybe probably graduated already, and he's not even in contact with this person anymore. It's like, I'd be kind of weird if...
I mean, if they're not close friend,
Yeah.
then no need to. But I mean, like if they're just classmate.
Or maybe if they're in like the same social circles still, and yeah,
could
maybe.
be, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if they are only classmate, I think it's fine. You know? But I mean, like if they're still like hanging out, like sort of, you know, once a while, I think it's a little bit weird.
Okay, so safe. Maybe the safe way is that he should. But from her perspective, as the girl, what should she do?
Don't do anything.
Just maybe hook up with this guy.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I'm sleepy.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Okay, good. The battery's about to die. Okay, thank you for joining us for another episode of You Look Lovely Today. This is episode 10, maybe 11.
Really?
Check. Yeah.
I want to check.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye. Closer. Okay.